Report and our okay, so this is our schedule of the exam and the quizzes that we're gonna have it. Again, quiz 1, midterm 1, it's 10 to 20% respectively. Quiz 2 and midterm 2, 10 to 20% respectively. In total, we're gonna have 60%. Okay. Do you have any questions? The types of the question I already said will be 90% calculation based. So, okay. So the learning objectives of this chapter, it's basically will describe the cycle of the money, the participants in that cycle, and the common objective of the borrowing and the lending. We'll try to differentiate the four main areas of the finance and briefly explain how the financial activities each has it. And we'll explain the different ways of classifying different financial markets. You know that there are the financial markets, but there are different types of financial markets, not only the one type. We'll discuss three main categories of the financial management. And of course, we'll come up with the main objective of the financial manager. What is the goal of the financial managers they should put before they proceed with their businesses? And explain how the financial manager, they interact with the both internal and external players. Underline the main types of the business organizations that we may have it. Illustrate the agency theory and the principal agent problem. And of course, we'll define the issues in corporate governance and the business ethics that exist, which is very crucial nowadays. And most of the companies now, it's kind of imposed these things. Explain why studying the finance will improve your employability. Why you will be competitive in terms of hiring. So basically, finance is the art or the science that helps you to understand how the money is managed, okay? How the cash flow, you can have it and put it in a right path, okay? So the idea is that yesterday I mentioned that you earn on one side, on the other side you spend it. You should be able to make kind of planning. How much money you're gonna spend this month, second month. For the individuals, you can make monthly, but for the companies, at least they make it for yearly basis because they need to handle their expenses. For example, take the example of the KIMEP. I'm working in a budgeting committee too, where we make a budgeting for the next year. Like we finished it in February for the next year, how much money the KIMEP gonna spend. That shows the limit, so the KIMEP cannot go above that limit. We put it, and that's it. There are two different decision-making processes, soft and hard. Soft, where you can still change it if you convince the board of the trustees. But hard means you made a decision, you cannot change the budget limit. Whatever budget you put the next year, that budget will be the next year. For example, we have a construction, the money will go some for construction. We have renovation, some money will go for renovation. We have student activities, yeah, the students among them, they do some activities. The money dedicated for that. So this all money should be managed in advance for the company prior to 1 year. So in February, we finalized everything. So we cannot make any changes. So imagine, you might ask, what if some unexpected things comes? The pipe explodes underground, you need to kind of drill it and open it, and there's expense, you need to hire a tractor or ask the permission, or any other activities comes out like you never expected. There is such a thing that if your budget, and how many schools we have here? We have BCB, we have law school, we have THE, and many schools. Same thing with the companies. Companies have got different departments. So one common budget is split among the departments based on their needs. But yes, give your ideas like how we decide how much money should get the BCB, how much money should get the law school, how much money should get other school. How do we decide it? Oh, if it was the case, that would be great. Seriously, I'm in a budgeting committee. We are kind of striving to get the money for the BCB. We are the major generator. We're the major students owning BCB. However, we don't. It doesn't work like this. In other companies too. It doesn't. So think critically. Like how we come up with a decision. This school's gonna get this much money. And we meet in the budgeting committee, we meet once in a week until the February, starting from the August. Every week we meet and discuss, this school is this much, this school is this much, and we're evaluating every steps. For example, we started our budget deficit, $20 million deficit. Imagine there's a budget deficit, $20 million. Means that the schools, all departments, regardless of the business, they make a demand. Okay, we want this much money for our expenses for the next year. So financial department or budgeting committee asks each school, please prepare the list of the expenses that you may expect to have it next year. And they prepare it, each school. And we end up with $20 million of deficit. We generate this much and 20 million, and let's say we generated 20 million and we spent 40 million. So deficit is, so what we should do as a manager, as a financial manager? We should decrease the expenses. And how we cut it? Every company works like this, guys. Their departments, like marketing department. I worked in construction company where we had the marketing department, we had the supply department, we had like many departments. We do request them, please provide the expenses that you may have next year. They provide it, and we end up with a deficit again. Now we have the expenses and we have the income. The income is obvious. The income is there. You cannot increase the income. Or you can increase double prices tuition fee. Yeah, we can double the tuition fees, and everything will be on the expense of the students, which is not the right. And within this budgeting committee, we have the students too. It's not only the faculty members, not only the representative of each department, the students too, where they show their interest in contribution. So, okay, the another question, how we cut the expenses? What do you think? Is it like, let's cut law school, we don't give anything to the law school and they enjoy the BCB, whatever they ask? Yes. Each department, but we evaluate. For example, we see one expense and there should be a comment by the department. What is that expense for? If there is no comment, if there is no clarification, we remove it. Because in advance, we inform, look guys, provide your list of expenses and clarify every expense that you demanded. Otherwise, it will be removed. As it will be treated as not needed. Because you need to clarify, it's not important. If it is important, let's say, we have bought a database called Refinitiv Icon. Do you know that database? Do you know that we have the research lab at the BCB? We have a finance lab. Do you know the price of the one? Let's say there was a Bloomberg, there is a Bank Focus Orbis database, and the Refinitiv. Refinitiv is the most expensive one. Sorry, the most cheapest one among these two, among these other three. So we paid maybe $30,000 or $40,000 for it per year subscription. You might ask why we need it. It's because of the accreditation, like to make your diploma internationally recognized, to allow you to go further. Accreditation committee comes like FIBA, EFMD that we got it this year for 5 years. By the way, we are the only one in the Central Asia who got the EFMD accreditation. There is no school in the Central Asia who got it. We are only the one and the first one. And it's really tough. It's really difficult to get that accreditation. In Turkey, there are 250 schools. Only 4 schools they got it. Top schools. In Europe, maybe 50 schools. Like around the world, there are only 400 schools who got the CFMD. It's very tough. It's a program that shows your program is highly, highly qualified and justified to be the internationally recognized. Before that accreditation, Once we received it, we saw that how we received the collaboration proposals from the different top schools. Normandy Business Schools, we together organized a conference. Zagreb School of Economics Management. These are the top schools that I'm saying, like, it's not just randomly selected schools. They do offer to collaborate with us. They're highly ranked because of, they see the standards, they see the highly ranked department. It's just a finance department we started. There is a way along that we go with other schools too. We will actually get accreditation for the other school, but we started with the finance and it worked successfully. That's a good point. So how do they see? They say, look, guys, if you want to keep this accreditation, you should have the databases first. Databases needed for what? For research. To do the research, to find something. For example, currently I'm doing the research, or I did the research for the last year. I can show it to you here, where I employed 2,500 companies, oil and gas companies. Where did I get these companies? I got it from that database. Imagine when I was in Cyprus, when I was doing my PhD, I collected this data for banking for 300 banks. It took 1 year to collect the financial statements of these banks. Do you know what does the financial statements means? Yeah, income statement, balance sheet. So I was collecting this data manually, going from one bank to another bank's website. But this database gives you as a lump sum, like everything in one database. You select, I want net income, I want return on equity, I want this ratio. And it gives you for all banks, it gives you for all companies. In my university that I was making the PhD, they didn't have this database until I collected all the data. I collected data, 1 year passed, and they bought that database. I said, where have you been before, guys? You waited for me to finish my collection of the data. But it was a really good experience for me to collect the data. I made it, and it has been published in a very reputable journal in 2 languages, Chinese and English. Into Chinese, they translated themselves. I can just show it. So why we need to have this research? It's basically a reputation of the school. It shows by how much your school is advanced, because the new things are invented, new things are employed, and this research are read by practitioners and others. For example, one of the work that I did it, where is it? My first work is this one. It's profitability and persistency in the service industry, the case of Christmas plus 3 countries. I collaborated with Islamic Development Bank from Saudi Arabia and my supervisor, professor from Cyprus. Like, it was a really good work and it was really tough. I was working on this research 3 years. And it's not easy, guys. Like, you collect it, do you think like you just write it and just submit it? No, it doesn't work like this. It really requires time. And of course it works. And then it gives you the recognition of the school. It satisfies the criteria of that you have scholars, you have scientific scholars in the school, they're doing the job. Now at the KIMEP University, we have one very nice scholar who got the Research Excellence Award, and he's the top in Europe, and he's the top, of course, in Kazakhstan. He's the finance professor, like Emilis Galariotis. I don't know, have you heard about him or not? He's really top professor. You know, he was offered a salary of $200,000 by Saudi, but he didn't go there because he likes the Almighty. $200,000 per year. Like, for him, he's not like it's. He said like it's not about the money, because he said I have like more than enough money. I'll give you. If you know, like we had like the professor from Canada, we have hired the professor from UK, from US, and so on. We'll keep hiring it. Why? Because it's a requirement of accreditation. It's a one side, it's accreditation. On the other side, it's students who will get the benefit from it. And the university becomes recognized too when you have this type of professor profile. It's very unique, and there is no university, there's only one university that competes with the KIMEP University, it's Nazarbayev University, but still, if we get this other accreditation for other schools, we will be the best in the Central Asia. It's not the show off, it's just for you to show the information, to see the importance of the KIMEP, how much it really goes well. On the other side, the accreditation gives you what? It gives you the theory and the practice. 70%, according to statistics, the people who graduate from the schools, they don't go to work with their fields. They go to the different. So not to have such a thing, the accreditation says, look, guys, there is a theory, there is a practice. They should be going together. Make sure they go together. You need to understand from the beginning what you would like to do, what you like to do. For example, when I was doing my bachelor, when I graduated, I worked as accountant 2 years. After that, I realized this is not the field that I really would like to work to. I just ran away from that field. I said, like, no way I go back. I was offered many jobs, like I was offered opportunity in not Netherlands that I didn't go for. Like I didn't like the accounting at all. It's not for me. I cannot sit like 24 hours in front of the computer and just putting these things in. It's a good job for some. For me, it's not suitable. I have a friend who graduated from chemistry in UK, but he's the manager of the bank now in Cyprus. Look how different the path went. At least for myself, it went not that much far. Thanks God. But still, so for you, it's my recommendation. And it's a good advice. Try to make internship while you're studying. Try to understand, this is the thing, you really like it or not. You should like your job. Don't think that this job will bring you the money, like engineers, they earn the money. No, it's not like this. The money you will start earning only when you will like the job. When you will like the thing, doing the things. Not like doctors are making the money. Nowhere. For example, I have a cousin. He was told from the beginning, he's in Turkey, he was told in the beginning, if you go to the medicine, if you become a doctor, you will earn millions of dollars. He earned the degree of the medicine, he just threw away that diploma. He said, this is the thing that I don't want to do. Like, I don't want to do the thing that makes me absent. Okay, I just went about beyond our schedule, but the issue is that why this very important to manage the finance is we understood that you should do it everything in advance, whether it's individual, whether it's a business. Okay. So financial management basically referred to as activities that create or preserve the economic value for the asset or of individual or small business and the corporation. So there should be some money value left at the company. There should be some cash reserve. For example, do you know what is the cash reserve at the KIMEP? It's officially declared. Like the KIMEP has got the cash reserves. $10 million. $10 million. Okay, they keep it in cash reserves. For such any cases to maybe because the KIMEP is only the university in Kazakhstan, fully self-independent. We don't receive any governmental support. We don't receive any scholarships. It's only the university in Kazakhstan that does not receive any support, which shows the self-independence and they have the strongness in terms of the cash reserves. Okay, so we need it to show the liquidity position, to make the strong position of the liquidity. What does the liquidity mean? Convert what? Assets, yeah? How easily you can sell your asset to make it cash. The most liquid is the cash itself, yeah, the money itself. Because if you need the liquidity, you need to convert it easily and faster. Financial intermediaries, okay, what is the money? How can you define the money? You have taken the economic courses. Let me test your economic knowledge.
Exchange.
Okay, exchange. It allows you to exchange. What else? It's an asset. Okay. How many functions the money has? There are some functions. You remember from economics? Or you skip that chapter? I remember one person from the backside. He was taking economic classes from me. Okay, money has got the first function as exchange. What else you can do with money? Invest. What else? Can you save it? What else? What you can do with money? Yeah, exchange, like medium of exchange. Can you go and pay in installments with money? Deferred payments. Like you buy something, but you pay in installments. It's called like deferred payments. So there are mainly four functions. And who provides the money? Central banks. To whom? Directly to people? To conventional banks, okay? To second-tier banks, okay? As a financial intermediaries. Financial intermediaries means middlemen, okay? People or the organization that stands between the borrower and the lender. What is the difference between the borrower and the lender? Yeah, the one, okay, borrower is the one who would like to borrow to get the money. The lender is they would like to give the money to at excess of the cash, okay? And that creates the cycle of the money. Okay, we have borrowers, lenders, financial intermediaries, and it circulates. Okay, there's a mutual fund issues shares which are bought by individuals. Okay, do you know or have you heard it before, like mutual fund, hedge fund? Have you heard these words before? Did you study them? So what's the mutual fund? Yeah, in different, yeah, it's related to investment. Okay. It's an institution that collects the money from the potential investors. They create a pool. And from that pool, they make different investments, buying different shares of different companies. Like Warren Buffett, they have got their own mutual funds. Okay. Other investors like Bill Gates, all top investors, they've got their own mutual funds where they do invest. Okay. So this is how the mutual funds go with it. Hedge funds, it's another type of institution that helps to manage the investment, but it's like more sophisticated. It means you cannot easily participate there. And it's more close if you compare to mutual funds. Four main interconnected and interrelated areas. It's corporate finance, investment, financial institution markets, and international finance. Financial markets. Okay, what is the market? Okay, it's a place where the buyers and sellers, good definition, perfect. And the financial market is the place where the financial instruments are traded, yeah? So can you give me an example of the financial instruments that you know? Any financial instruments examples? Stocks, shares, bonds. Yeah. What is the difference between the stock and shares? Is there any difference? Stocks and shares are the same thing. It's just the words that are used interchangeably. Stocks and bonds, there is a huge difference, which we'll discuss later. And the maturity about that you have just mentioned it, it's money market and the capital market. Money market in terms of maturity, it lasts just 1 year. Capital market lasts more than 1 year. Which one is more liquid? Which is the less than one? It's money market. This is the liquidity. And there's another differentiation in the financial markets, a primary and the secondary. Primary, when the companies, they go for the first time and they issue for the first time the shares, they go for primary market. When the companies already exist in the financial market and they reissue and resell it, their shares, they go for secondary market. Secondary product and primary product. We have dealer markets and auction markets. But one thing I would like to underline in here that you cannot go and buy the shares and the stocks directly from the financial market. There should be a broker that helps you to arrange this transaction. For example, Jusan Bank. They have a broker which is called Jusan Finance. Halyk Bank has got a broker has called Jusan Finance. List of brokers, you can see it from the CASE, like authorized brokers. Don't trust every broker because you might be in a trap. CASE brokers. So this is the list of the brokers, okay? That are authorized, checked, and reliable. If you want to work, you can work on it with them. Each of them has got their own application, their own website where you can register and invest. But don't trust those things that they advertise in the Facebook, Instagram, telling and promising you, come and invest, I'll give you the 50% return in a month. You know, there are the people who believe in this. There are the people within the KIMEP who has studied the finance, they still went there and invested and lost their whole money. Even though I know the student who lost $100,000 because they trusted, they saw reliable. How did it happen? They just invested $100, they got the return, they cashed it out, and they saw, oh, I can cash out this $100. They trust on that, and then they put all $100,000. And then the account is blocked, closed, and that's it. And you cannot find those people. So to go with the more authorized, what do you call it, brokers, they are here. You see them and work with them. For example, I'm going with the Jusan Invest. I like their apps. It's very good. They're categorizing the products. If I have the time, I'll show you too. They categorize the product. Let's say this is Warren Buffett's portfolio. You can go and invest in there. Like whatever Warren Buffett bought it, they can buy, but with a small amount. They buy from the different financial markets, from Kazakhstan, from New York, from UK, and so on, from IX and so on. Okay. Let's go further. So finance manager and the financial management has to determine the best repayment structure of the borrowed funds. If the company involved in borrowing, they're the one who has to in advance determine how much money should be paid now, how much money should be paid next month, 2 months now, 3 months later. Why? Because if you pay, let's say you earn some money now, and you see that I can close all my debts. Whatever you earn, you just close all your debts. What about the salaries? What about the bills, the utility bill that you have to pay every month, rent, other expenses, suppliers, and so on? So never rush to close down all your debts. Everything should be structured in advance properly so that you don't have any problem with the efficiency. For example, one of my friends, he has like a group of companies in Kazakhstan. He said, look, I'm buying products from Germany. I'm selling it here for like double what I pay there. Like without any delay, I receive all the money. However, at the end of the month, I don't have anything left for myself as a salary. What's the problem? I have a very good accountant, very expertise, like he's very specialized, but still we cannot manage because financial manager and accountant is different. What is the difference between the financial manager and the accountant? Very close. So basically, finance is all about forecasting. It's about the planning. But accounting is all about the bookkeeping, the post-activity transaction, what's already taken place, and you just report it. The accountant never makes a plan for the future, how much money should be paid, how much money should be arranged. They never make forecasts, how much money you will earn. what will be your income, what will be your feasibility of certain project if you run it. You should make sure that the debt obligations are met on time and properly structured. You should ensure that the sufficient funds are available to carry out daily operations too. You should not close down all the activities. Like for the student, when I was a student, when I received my scholarship or any payments from my parents, first couple of days, all money spent. And the remaining 20 days, I'm thinking, from where should I borrow the money? So which was not the really right thing. Imagine the company does the same. They spend all the money the first couple of days and nothing left for the coming years, months. So everything should be structured and properly managed. Financial management actually involves three main functions. It's a capital budgeting, capital structure, and working capital management. This is the role of the financial manager, what the financial manager should do in the company. That's it. First of all, determine a project. Identify which project will give you more money, which project will be more profitable for you. Determine it, like find a good place where you can invest. Buying land, planting something there, investing, building the dormitories, and letting the students get into the dormitories and live next to the campus. Building different things like infrastructure. So you should identify which project you should run. Like this is capital budget. Second question, the second role of the financial manager, find the source of financing. Okay, you identify the project, but where you get the money from where you finance your project. Is it borrowing or is it equity? Is it your parents who are gonna invest in your project? Is it your friends? Is it like whoever invests, you should identify. This is called a capital structure. Maybe 40% you will borrow from the bank and 60% you will invest on your own capital. This is capital structure from where you're gonna invest. And working capital management is like dealing with the daily operations of the company. Like producing, selling, keeping in store, and so on. And mainly, financial manager is not the owner of the company. This is what you should remember, guys. He's not the owner in the company. He's just managing the company. It could be possible he's the financial manager and then he has some part of the company. It's another strategy to keep some issue under control. So the main objective of the financial manager basically is to make the investment and financing decision so that it will increase the cash flow of the firm, or it will maximize the stock price if it's a corporation. Okay, because for the company, when the stock prices are increases, what happens? The value of the company increases. It becomes more valuable, it becomes more profitable, more attractive. So profit maximization, the stock price maximization, it's kind of different. Sometimes the financial manager would like to maximize the profit to earn the money, but the shareholders, who are the owner of the companies, they would like to increase their wallet. For example, if you're a shareholder, what you will care mostly about? Stock price. Because shareholders, they do receive and they get richer if the stock prices increases. Yes, they receive the dividends, okay, but the dividends is nothing when the stock price is increasing. Yesterday, I showed you the example of the Tesla. It was $1, it became 500, then it increased. Nvidia, other companies, okay? So stock price is much important for the shareholder, but the financial manager is caring about more profit maximization. And there is a kind of conflict between the shareholders and the financial manager. Like shareholder put the pressure, please go and increase the value of the stock, do something. But the shareholder says, financial manager says, look, guys, like we should not forget about the profit maximization. We need to have some money in hand. And which one is important? Which one more important? There should be balance, okay, between this and those. So there's some external, internal players. So financial managers should be interacting with various of internal, external stakeholders. These are the customers, suppliers, government, and the creditors. Why the government should be involved in the companies? What is the reason that the government is there? Taxes, of course. Taxes and regulation. Yeah, they don't like violate all the rules, especially nowadays which is called ESG rules, ESG compliance. They should be friendly, socially, and governmentally effective, the companies. For example, in Europe, they have created a rule that cannot be, it does not allow you to do a certain operations if you do not comply with the certain ESG principles. I forgot the name. It's called some standardization. For example, if you don't meet those criteria, you will not receive any subsidy, and the taxes that you used to pay will be higher than before. So they force the companies to comply with the ESG principles. That's very important because, especially in Kazakhstan, it's very important. It's very significant in oil and gas sector because drilling the ground and extracting the oil, it's not, environmentally and socially friendly things because it drills, gives, okay, you're gonna earn, but there is a consequence that it has, like water resources will run out, first of all. The land that you're using, it will be spoiled. And whatever technology they use to kind of convert from oil to petrol, it's a different technology. It pollutes our environment too. They should use some technologies to kind of make the less pollutions. Not only these oil and gas companies, but the banking sector, the universities. Like we should plant more trees, we should use less cars. For example, when I was in Berlin, it's a very crowded city, but it was very clean. And I was very shocked. Then I started to study how did they achieve it? The issue is that they put a sticker on each car, the level of the emissions the car produces. If it's highest, they get red sticker. If it's middle, they get yellow sticker. If it's like good, they get the green. Only the green sticker are allowed to go into Almaty city or to the Berlin city. The others, if you go, the police will not catch you. The only thing you will receive penalty, and the penalty is very high. So if you don't value the environment, you should pay for it. And they really, what I saw there, most of them are riding the bicycles. And the bicycles has got more priority than the cars, You drive the car, they can even hit your car, like give the road, like give us the way to go. They kind of priority. And another issue that really, they love their environment. It's kind of, nowadays we call it like financial literacy. We should get the financial literacy, not to be trapped, not to be fraud, not into the fraud. However, we forgot we should get the literacy of ESG, environmental and socially friendly. Not every one of us like aware of it. I haven't seen any person driving in the car and throwing some cigarettes, some barrels, empty barrels of the outside of the car. But in here, in developing countries, I see it like every day. But there, they do care a lot, seriously, So this shows the level of the literacy. We need to get literacy. So you're here and don't keep it in yourself, this knowledge. Share it. When you don't share the knowledge, what happens to that knowledge? It disappears. Look at here. Look at my desktop. If I have it here, I'll show it. What is this? Does it have information inside? Yes. If you open it, too many. Same thing with our brain. Too much information inside. If you don't use it, it becomes what? A waste. So we should use it, share it. Like whatever knowledge you get, it's your responsibility, guys. Next level to give the literacy, to share it, okay? I'm not telling you go and be an academician or teach. No, it doesn't necessarily mean like this. You should share your experience. You should share wherever you are, just share it. Whatever knowledge you get it. This is the way you learn it. The best way to learn something is to teach. I graduated as a top student, but I learned the financial management when I was teaching it. I didn't learn it when I was studying myself, seriously. Many things. Why? Because imagine 50, 60 students are sitting in the class and each of them has got the question. They're asking me, I'm starting to analyze and critically thinking on that. And potentially before coming to the class, I create some potential questions. That's the way that you learn it. Anything you want to be good in that, just teach it. Seriously, Joe, go and teach that subject. You will see how professional you will become in that. You have a problem with the ESG or with the AI technologies, find one subject and go and teach to someone. You will be that you will be succeeded on that. How the Warren Buffett said, if you want to be successful investor in something, find something that is not possible for you. See that this industry is not possible, is not feasible for you. That means that this is the place that where you will make much more money. Because everyone will think that, and everyone will escape. Only you will be there, and you are the one who will get the money from it. So anything that makes you to reach it difficulty with the hardships, that means that that's the point that you will succeed in. Too much motivation classes today, yeah? Okay. There are legal forms of the businesses: sole proprietorship, partnership, and corporation. Sole proprietorship means when there is only one person who owns the company. He's the one who gets the profit. He's the one who gets losses shared. Partnership, when two people come together, they make a business together, it's called a partnership. Corporation, it's more than 10 owners, like it's a company who issue the shares, and they have got more than 10 owners. So beside this main forms, some of the forms organization include the hybrid or non-profit organization. Like KIMEP is a non-profit organization. It serves only to provide the education, not only the earning the profit. And this is the real, okay, here we go. What are the advantages of the sole proprietorship? It's simple and easy to start the business. Like in Kazakhstan, it's called IPE, individual entrepreneurship, yeah? You can easily start, you can using the Kaspi Halak application. You go there, in 1 minute, you can open it. You open, let's say, for example, I have agriculture business. It took me maybe half an hour to open that business in Kaspi. Then I decided to go diversify my business I included like renting the cars. I added again through the Kaspi in 1 minute. And it's easy to start, easy to establish that business. Least amount of legal documentation needed. Like I did not submit any documentation. It's like they digitalized. Everything was available. Least regulated, that's very true. Not only the US, the Kazakhstan too. And owner keeps all the profits. For the pitfalls, the owner pays the personal tax rate on the profits. The tax rates are very nice in Kazakhstan if you compare to Europe. In Kazakhstan, I pay 3% on my business because I didn't reach the huge amount. If I reach, still I'm going to pay 10%. But if you compare to the Europe, I have a friend, he has construction company. He said, I'm paying around like 45 to 60% taxes. Then after tax, whatever amount I receive, I pay for environment, I pay for the social responsibilities, I pay some other things. And my turnover amount is like 1 million euro per month. However, the only money is left in my pocket is 20,000 euro. Net profit. Not that much. Imagine 1 million circulates in your business and only you're ending up with the 20,000 euro. He said, okay, I like it, but everything is transparent, everything is good. Like it's not difficult for me to run the business, but the issue is that this is how you earn it. But because when the country is developed, the discrepancy to earn the money is very small. When the country is developing, like Kazakhstan and Central Asian countries, the discrepancy to earn the money is very huge. You should be the one who fills this gap. Whatever you start the business in Kazakhstan, it will go well. Because there is a gap that needs to be filled. If you go to, let's say, Turkey, Cyprus, Croatia, or any other European countries, you will see that there's no way to do that business. It's very difficult to start the business there, seriously. Even to open the sole proprietorship. In Turkey, I started the business. It took 3 months to start the business. To just legally start the business to get the name. 3 months. And I paid like around $10,000 for it. In Kazakhstan, I paid maybe 200 tenge. But there I paid $10,000, but I couldn't manage it. I was not successful in that business. I closed down, and it took me 3-4 months to close down. You cannot easily close down. In Saudi Arabia, one of my friends, he had a big business like tourist. He was sending the tourists there. Tourists was coming here. It was very good business. He had a really maybe 10 flats here. He was rich. After the pandemic period, when it was locked down, he has officially established the business there. The Saudi Arabia obligated him not to close down the business. He said, look, if you close down the business, you will be in jail. You have workers which you have to pay within the year. They are our citizens. If you don't pay it, you will be obligated. And you have a debt, and you will take the responsibility fully. What happened? He sold everything here, the flats, the cars, whatever he had, to pay the obligations there, the pensions, the salary during the 1 year. Even the work was not done at all. You remember the pandemic period was fully locked down. Nothing moved. It was the best time too. Like everything was clean here. Yeah, you remember there was no smoke, the pure weather. I really enjoyed that. That's the only thing that I enjoyed that time. So you see that from country to country, it changes to establish the business. For example, in US, another friend of mine, he said, look, I established a company in 1 day. Even I'm not a citizen, even I don't have any citizenship there. I came here with a tourism visa. With a touristic visa, he established company officially, and he can hire officially the workers there. However, he cannot get paid, but he has to pay all the taxes what is there. So it's easy to establish, it's easy to manage it. Sole proprietorship in US, in here, in some other countries. But specifically the country that I just mentioned, it's very difficult to do, even if it's just sole proprietorship. I didn't know so far about the US, but when he shared it, I was really, wow. In UK, we established a company. It's a partnership company. It took a bit time. It took maybe 3-4 months to do that. And we need to hire the accountant who will run our businesses, who will record everything, and still. It's time consuming and money consuming. So that's about the beautiness of the sole proprietorship. If you're planning to do any business here, do it here. It's easy to start, and it's easy. There are many, many advantages. You know, there are many, many governmental organizations that do support different ideas, like the startups. Seriously, they give a lot of money for it. They give a lot of support. If you want to go for agriculture business, go for it. 90% will be subsidized by the government. 80-90%. Corporations, partnership. It's an agreement between the partners that may be easily formed, involves more individuals as owners, therefore usually more expertise. And larger amount of the money is available if you compare to the sole proprietorship. The drawbacks, it's basically assets of general partners are common like with the assets of the business. So means that if your asset, there's no differentiation between your own asset and the business assets. It's like the business assets. Profits are treated as a personal income tax for the purposes, and it's very difficult to transfer the ownership. Corporation. Business is legal, separate entity from the owners. Owner have the limited liability to obligation of the business. Easy to transfer ownership. Usually have got the greater access to the capital of the business. And owners, they don't have any personal liability for the default of the company. Like in partnership and sole proprietorship, if the company has got some liability to banks or the government, all the partners will be liable, regardless. You have to pay it. But when it comes to the corporation, you are only entitled to lose whatever you invested. Like shares, you buy the shares, you will lose only the shares, nothing else. All other obligations, all other liabilities will be on the hands of the company itself. And of course, the pitfalls, it's most difficult business operation to form. It's not easy. Like Air Astana recently, last year, they formed a corporation. You form the corporation when you issue the shares. when you come up to the financial market with the shares. And it's not easy, as I said last time. It's very difficult. It may take several years to establish the company for the corporation. Double taxation of the companies means, imagine you are the owner, shareholder. Before receiving the dividends as a shareholder, the company earns the profit. Before the earning the profit, the company pays the taxes, all taxes. All the interests are paid. Then whatever is left will be given priority to pay the dividends to the shareholders. As a shareholder, when you receive these dividends, you have to pay the taxes. So there's double taxation. In the next chapter, which is the financial statements, where you will see how this structure works in detail. And of course, it's the most regulated. Agency relationship, agency conflict, why does it arise and how can it be minimized? So agency problem, it's a problem that exists between the shareholder and the financial manager. Because shareholders are the one who hires the manager. And they want the manager to work hard, work in a way that it will be efficient for both company and the shareholders. However, sometimes managers, the financial managers, they abuse it. Imagine the case, you hire the manager and you pay the fixed salary, $100,000. What will happen? That manager will just come to the work without spending the time and efforts. They will not do much. They will just watch the videos, YouTube, during the work, movies, and at the end of the day, they will look, oh, 6 o'clock, run. When I worked in Cyprus, it was the same. You know, the Cypriots are very, very, lazy is not the right word to use, but they are the one who doesn't like to work much. Especially if you go to the government sector, you will see that the people are relaxed, sitting, no rush. You come with the documents, please, I need to sign. Just relax, have a seat, don't rush. Let's have a coffee. The person doesn't know you, he will offer you coffee. You just take it. And you drink, like the signing of document could have taken maybe 1 minute, but they prolonged it for 1 hour. You stay with them, you discuss, and in the queue, there are other people are standing and waiting for you. And you know, only the foreigners are working. So in the work, exactly 6 o'clock, you will not see any single person there, definitely. The office will be so empty. Just 1 minute before the 6 o'clock. Done. Everyone run. Here, I saw that many people are working hard. The more you work, the more you will be rewarded. Same thing with the Croatian. The Croatian, they're not much like hard working, but they're still on average. But US, really everyone is hard working. One person could work in 3-4 jobs. So this is how it changes. So imagine when you're paid the fixed salary, and why should I bother myself, kill myself, coming with a new projects, something? I'm paid fixed salary, so I will be spending all the time here. I have a luxury car, I have a luxury office, I have a luxury apartment that I was given. So I don't have to bother myself. And just dealing with daily routines, if it's needed, I will just solve it. So this type of managers are not really preferred, are not really liked by the shareholders, and this is the kind of agency problem. Agency cause for the shareholders, the conflict of the interest between the shareholders and the owners. So not to have it, there are some rules. For example, I can give you an example. In US, there was an incident where one financial manager, he was originally from this country, CIS countries, I don't remember which country was that, but what he did, basically, he used $2 million of the budget of the company to finance the birthday party for his wife. But though the company did not belong to him, he just used that money. It happens. And of course, he ended up with a jail, he ended up with the court cases, and so this is kind of called like agency conflict when the shareholder doesn't want you. Sometimes shareholders abuse it, their power, putting into the pressure do something, earn the profit regardless environment. Like do the management, do anything, just get our profit. But whatever happens to the environment, we don't care. But at the end of the day, who will be responsible for the environment? Company. The company has to pay the penalty. Like in Turkey, I saw some of the hotels. They use this toilet water to the environment. They don't like circulate it and filter it. Some of the hotels, they had these issues, and of course they were penalized when they were caught, because you went to filter it and to circulate, it's not a cheap thing. You have to pay for it. And the company, the hotels decided to not share it and earn the profit. And of course, they ended up with the big penalties, big fines, they're the government bodies who controls it. And there are many companies in Kazakhstan, many companies in every country who does not go and comply with the rules and regulations. But I believe in very, very soon in developing countries, it will be like in Europe, there will be a regulation that every company should be or must comply with the rules and regulations. Corporate governance, they deal how company conducts its business and implements the control and ensure the proper procedures and ethical behavior in terms of everything. And Sarbanes-Oxley Act was developed in 2002 after this financial scandal took place, Enron. Do you know what is the Big Four means? Like Big Four companies, PricewaterhouseCoopers, Deloitte, Ernst & Young, KPMG. Before it was Big Five. It was Andrew company, it's an auditing company with the energy company Enron. They made an agreement. They misled their financial statements. They fraud the potential investors, saying that the Enron was about to bankrupt. Okay? Enron is about to file the bankrupt, but the auditing company Andrew, they came and just fabricated the numbers, showed that everything is fine, everything is perfect, and attracted the investors. They invested into that company, and the Enron bankrupted after 1 year. And it was a big scandal that Andrew Big Four company, Big Five, one of the Big Five companies was taking their license. Okay, their license was taken by the government. They stopped their functioning, and of course, Enron bankrupted. And many investors, they lost their money in that company. Okay. Any questions? Any comments? Any complaints? And let's just finalize it, like why and how the financial decisions are made in large and small companies. Basically, the finance is very, very significant part of the company. It's a blood in the vein of the company. There is no company that doesn't need a financial manager. Do you know like how much money the financial manager they earning here in Kazakhstan? Approximately. Yes. Sorry? Yeah, that's true. Like on average, they earn 2 million tenge per month, but one financial manager can manage several companies at the same time. And good financial manager, I know like a friend of mine, they earn like 5-6 millions without putting too much effort. Why they don't put too much effort? Because they did it before. They got all this knowledge. They don't get this money from the sky, okay? They contributed, they studied, they educated, they got many certifications. They have really huge experience in finance, and the people they trust. It's a money, because when you manage the company's money, you're not only earning the money as well, you are the responsible for those money. If that something happens, you will take the responsibility of that money. The reward is high and the penalty is high too. Imagine the company trusted you $3-4 million, and in 1 year you just wasted those $3-4 million. Do you think that the company will not ask from you anything about it? They will sue you. Even you may end up with a jail. If they prove, like, let's say you abuse this money you spent on your girlfriend's or boyfriend's birthday. I don't know. I haven't heard anything like that. When the girls they spend on boyfriend's birthday this much money, but the boyfriends they're not that much irrational because the money should be wisely spent, and if it's company's money, they should be properly managed and efficiently, so in the right path. I read one article. I have like a couple of minutes. I read one article. It was saying there was one manager who was not the manager. He was firstly IT person specialist. Maybe I shared before with you, some of you. IT special who was working for a company writing different programming, okay, projects. Whenever he was given any project, he was doing it like on time. He was given like one project 1 week, he did it, performed it, but the quality of that project was at top. Like the owners didn't question it, like they were happy like that we have this specialist. And he worked like this 1 year. And they said, like, how is it happened? Like during the 1 year, he did not fail any of the project. He did not like underperform his expectations. Everything was unexpectedly and above the expectation, like at top. They were wondering, let's like record whatever he's doing. They put the camera into the computer, the camera everywhere, like in the room, so that he doesn't know it. They started to record his performance. Within the couple months, they realized he's not doing anything. He's just watching all the time the movies, Netflix, YouTube, everything. And how he's managing them, this project, like conducted, performed, and at top level. Then they found it out that he was giving this project to the Chinese programmers. They were doing it like for the cheapest way and the fastest and the highest quality. And at the end, he was not fired, but he became a project manager. Okay, thank you so much. I'll see you